Welcome everybody to my channel, Off-Road Rider. Well, today I have a couple of things to show you. A friend of mine just purchased this new sag measuring device called Slaker. I'm going to show you that. So this right here, for those of you that don't know, is a stock 450 pound per inch Surron Ultra Bee shock spring. Okay, so those right here. In my last video, which I'll include in the links, I tested out the suspension on this thing. I went on to a motocross track and did some small tabletop jumps. I was only getting, about a foot or 2 feet in the air, not very much at all. Wasn't going very fast, a couple small whoops. But what I did notice using the stock spring and my weight all geared up, I was bottoming out this spring. So I put a zip tie on the shaft right here and measured it. It basically was getting bottomed out, and then this bumper down here was also getting pushed down all the way. Anyways, so after doing a little bit of research, there was some suggestions and about going up to the next higher up spring set, which is 500 pounds per inch. Now during that test ride, over here on this side of the bike, there is a compression dampening and also rebound dampening. I had set that to maximum and it was still bottoming out. So I wrote it, measured it several times. It's definitely bottoming out. Now, it can't be bottoming out that severe because I'm not feeling it when I'm riding it, but it is bottoming out. So, special thanks to Steve Dose over at Dose BMW. I was able to swap out the springs. He has a spring compression machine that was able to compress this thing, took this one out, got a new one, and installed it. New color scheme, as you can tell, black. Okay, so now that we've installed our new spring, we need to set up the rear suspension, and the two things that we need to do is figure out what the sag is. So there's two sag measurements. One is just the sag of the bike when it's just sitting, and the sag, what they call race sag, which is the rider weight on there all geared up. So how's this thing work? Okay, a friend of mine, John, he just purchased this Slaker device, and I said, why did you spend 150 bucks or whatever it is on something that you could do with the measuring tape? Well, I'm going to show you why now. Okay, so the nice thing about this tool, basically it has Bluetooth. You can hook it up to your phone, and then you can also have a remote device. So let's see here. Let's first things first. It has a little kind of C-clamp thing, rubber C-clamp thing, where you can attach it to your motorcycle, the fender basically, and then clip this measurement device on here. So in a vertical manner, I selected a spot on here. I'll just screw this thing down. Basically tight enough so it doesn't come off. So I'm going to turn this thing on. A is flashing on here, so it's in the remote mode. So I'm going to mount this thing up here on my handlebars so I can see the measurement of this guy here. I need to make sure that this guy is hooked up to it. Okay. Okay, so now these two are connected to each other. So the one thing we're going to do is we're going to connect this thing to our attachment point on the fender, and this happens to be steel, so there's a magnet on the back of this thing here, and voila, it's on there. So this is more or less vertical, which is what you want. The one thing we want to do is zero this thing out. So I'm going to push the on-off button, and it basically zeroes it out. So right now, this device here and my handlebar device is reading 0. And it's important here, so you have the rear wheel off the ground for this to read 0, and then to measure the static sag of just the motorcycle, I'm going to take it off the stand. And then just let it sit there on its own, kind of maybe compress it a couple times, see where, if there's any stiction or not. So right now, this guy here is reading 25, and that one down there, it's moving around, should read the same. So, you know, you could take a couple of measurements, see where it's at. So 25. So static sag with the motorcycle is 25. So I am gonna now measure the race sag. Okay. If I put on all my gear, shoulder pads, chest back protector, knee guards, elbow, clothes, helmet, and boots, that ends up being about 20 pounds. So, to simulate all that gear, I have weight, 20-pound weight here, and I am gonna put this off to the side here, and because I'm not perfect at balancing, I'm gonna put this over here so I can get on the bike and try to measure my race sag. This time, being careful and not to bump that thing, I want to measure this. So I'm going to grab my barbell here, simulating my weight, and then kind of, all right, so there we go. So get my weight off the ground and very gently balance this, but just barely touching this thing. I'm seeing 85 here, so that means that from unweighted to fully weighted race, what they call race sag, is measuring 85 millimeters. And we can bounce a couple of times, bring the weight back on, and let's see here, barely. So 86 millimeters. Okay, so you might want to take it a couple times, maybe move up forward, see where, if I'm forward in the seat, saddle. So right now it's showing 82 millimeters. Okay, so depending on riding position, it's going to vary, right? So, you know, in the corners, you're going to be riding way up here. It's going to be 80-ish, but back here, more like, yeah. Back here, it's actually showing like 88. Anyways, so depending on where you ride, if you're just on the pegs, so 80, 81, 82. My balance right now is not that good, especially with this little barbell in the middle. Anyways, So it's on the order of 82-ish to 85, 86, depending on where I'm at and if I'm standing on the pegs or not. So that's kind of where I want to be, more or less. Now the travel on this bike is 240 millimeters, and in general you want about 30%. 30% of 240 is 72 millimeters. So what my target sag really, it needs to be right around 70, 72 to soak up, just with my weight, about 30% of the ride. So the adjustment that I want to make, I'm going to move the camera down here. Basically, I want to adjust the preload with these two rings. So to raise this up so it's not as, the sag is not quite as much as it is, to lower it to 72, I need to uncouple these two rings and then screw this bottom ring down until this guy, now with my fully weighted, preferably with gear, my gear weight is roughly about 72. So then once that's set, lock that down, check it again, and voila. This is not an exact science, because depending on where you're riding, you're gonna have different values that you're measuring. Anyways, so that's the Slaker tool. Pretty nice tool. It allows me to measure the So that's the Slaker tool. I think it's a fairly nice tool. Well worth the money. It allows me to make fairly accurate measurements down to the millimeter, and turn this thing off now. By yourself. So it comes with Velcros, it comes with attachment things that you can have. This little C-clamp here to clamp it onto whatever. The phone application will actually link up to your phone via Bluetooth and display the sag values as well. This thing here is pretty nice to have on your handlebars, so you can kind of balance, move around if you want to see this without having to look down there. Anyways, I personally like the ease of use of this, and I recommend using this. This is pretty nice. A friend of mine, John, got it. He loaned it to me, and I was a little bit skeptical at the beginning, but I think it's very useful. Now I have to measure the Husqvarna as well.